In 2011, while the world was busy posting selfies and arguing on Facebook, something insane was growing in the shadows of the internet. It was called Silk Road, and it wasn't just a website. It was a revolution. The dreamer behind the curtain. At the center of it all was a quiet, brainy, libertarian-leaning guy named Ross Ulbricht. On the surface, clean-cut, physics degree, thoughtful, idealistic, the kind of guy your mom would trust. But behind a laptop screen, Ross became someone else entirely. He created Silk Road under the alias Dread Pirate Roberts, named after the mythical identity in The Princess Bride. The idea was simple. The name isn't one man, it's a legacy. Only in this case, it was one man, and that man believed he was building a freer world. The fucking idea that changed everything. Ross wasn't trying to be a drug lord at first. He was obsessed with one idea: freedom from government control. He believed adults should have the right to buy and sell whatever they wanted. No state interference, no surveillance, no bullshit. And the technology was finally there. The dark web, Tor network, made users anonymous. Cryptocurrency allowed money to move without banks. Encryption kept conversations private. So Ross built Silk Road as an Amazon for drugs. Yeah, you heard that right. You could log in anonymously and scroll through listings for LSD, heroin, MDMA, cocaine, complete with reviews like it was fucking Yelp. Fast shipping, great quality, would buy again. It was surreal, but it worked. From philosophy to empire. Silk Road exploded. Within months, it wasn't just some underground experiment. It was a booming black market economy. Thousands of vendors, hundreds of thousands of users, millions of dollars flowing through the site. Ross took a commission from every sale. By 2013, Silk Road had generated over $1 billion in transactions. And Ross? He wasn't just some tech nerd anymore. He was running a digital empire from coffee shops and libraries, typing code while the world walked past him completely unaware. That's the crazy part. This wasn't some kingpin in a mansion. This was a guy with a laptop and a belief that he was fucking changing history. The illusion of control. But power does something dangerous to people. At first, Silk Road had strict rules. No child exploitation, no weapons, no stolen credit cards, no violence for hire. It was supposed to be a harm reduction marketplace. But when you create a system based on crime, things get messy as hell. Hackers tried to exploit the platform. Employees threatened to leak identities. Users attempted blackmail. And that's when things got dark, really dark. The alleged murder plots. As Silk Road grew, so did the paranoia. Ross began to believe people were threats. At one point, when a former associate threatened to expose user identities, Ross allegedly sought to hire a hitman. Let that sink in. The guy who started this as a philosophical freedom experiment was now discussing murder for hire through encrypted messages. According to federal prosecutors, Ross paid hundreds of thousands of dollars in Bitcoin for hits that were never actually carried out because the hitmen either were scammers or undercover agents. No confirmed murders happened, but the intent? That was enough to terrify investigators. The line between idealist and criminal mastermind had officially fucking disappeared. The feds close in. Meanwhile, law enforcement agencies across the world were scrambling to figure out who was behind Silk Road. The site was making them look stupid. Drugs were flowing across borders through regular mail. Teenagers were ordering psychedelics like they were buying sneakers. The FBI, the DEA, Homeland Security, everyone wanted the head of Dread Pirate Roberts. And slowly, piece by piece, investigators began connecting digital breadcrumbs. An old forum post, a reused email, a coding pattern, a moment of carelessness. Ross had once asked for help online while building Silk Road, and he had used his real email. That tiny mistake would come back to fuck him. Don't forget to like and subscribe. The Takedown, October 1st, 2013. San Francisco Public Library. Ross Ulbricht is sitting at a table, laptop open, logged into Silk Road as Dread Pirate Roberts. FBI agents know this is their only shot. If he closes the laptop, encryption could lock them out forever. So they stage a distraction. A couple pretends to argue behind him. Ross turns his head. In that split second, agents rush him. They grab the laptop before he can shut it. Boom! Game over. The king of the dark web is in handcuffs. The trial of Ross Ulbricht wasn't just about drugs. It was about the future of the Internet. Prosecutors painted him as a ruthless criminal who enabled overdoses and tried to order murders. Defense attorneys argued he was a nonviolent first-time offender who created a website, not a cartel. The alleged murder-for-hire charges were never formally tried in court, but they were allowed during sentencing. That mattered a lot. In 2015, Ross Ulbricht was sentenced to 2 life sentences plus 40 years, no possibility of parole, for running a website. No violent convictions, no actual murders committed, just code. To supporters, the punishment was excessive as hell. To critics, it was necessary to send a message. The judge called Silk Road the most sophisticated and extensive criminal marketplace on the Internet. And just like that, the digital pirate story seemed over. But here's the twist. Silk Road didn't kill the dark web. It inspired it. After the takedown, dozens of copycat markets popped up, some even bigger. Law enforcement shut many down, but the genie was already out of the bottle. The experiment proved something terrifying and fascinating. You can't uninvent anonymity. You can't erase encrypted money. And you sure as fuck can't stop human demand. The bigger question, was Ross Ulbricht a villain, a visionary, a reckless idiot who flew too close to the sun, or a political prisoner crushed to make an example? That's what makes this story so powerful. It's not black and white. He didn't build Silk Road for yachts and champagne. He built it because he believed in radical freedom. But belief doesn't erase consequences. And when ideology meets the real world, people get hurt. Drugs ordered online still cause overdoses. Anonymity still protects criminals. And ambition still corrupts. The legacy. Today, Silk Road is gone, but its impact is everywhere. Cryptocurrency is mainstream. Dark web markets still exist. Governments are more aggressive than ever about cybercrime. Ross Ulbricht remains in prison, and his case continues to spark debate about justice, technology, and overreach. The story forces us to confront something uncomfortable. What happens when technology outruns the law? What happens when one guy with a laptop decides to challenge the entire system? Sometimes he builds a billion-dollar underground empire, and sometimes he spends the rest of his life paying for it. Final words for your audience. Silk Road wasn't just a drug site. It was a fucking social experiment, a digital rebellion, a cautionary tale about freedom, power, and the illusion that you can control chaos once you unleash it. Because once you open that door, you don't get to decide what walks through.